Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mansuab Arora from Lepton Software, and we welcome you all for today's webinar on myCOVIDrisk API, a solution to minimize COVID risk for your business. We hope that everyone is safe and healthy, and I would like to thank you for joining us for this special session. This session will be for 30 minutes, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. I would request you all to kindly type your questions and queries in the Q&A window, and we will take them in the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. We will also be having a demo of the application in this session. Our speakers for the day is Mr. Varun Johar and Ms. Swapna Iyer. Mr. Varun is the Business Development Head for Google Maps platform and solution with Lepton Software, and he has worked previously with top MNCs in India. Ms. Swapna Iyer is a Customer Success Engineer with Google Maps at Lepton, and she will be taking forward the demo of the API solution. So now I would request Mr. Varun to start to take the session forward with his presentation on the topic of the day. Mr. Varun.
Thanks, Mansuab. Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Varun. I hope everyone is safe and sound. So we really wanted to start off today, these times which are going on right now, the unprecedented and unpredictable time, right? No one thought about it, but one in a million chance, and it did happen. But what we want to focus on is how do we minimize the risk for your business? At the end, what we want is we want our business to keep on running, right? So just want to start off quickly with who are we and our presence in the market. So we're actually Lepton Software, who happens to be the leader in location intelligence with more than 25 years of experience of being in the market. We're actually serving more than 12 industries, including telecom, banking, automotive, as you can take a look at that. And we have a whole lot of, the data analysts and the software engineers who are actually working constantly just to make sure that our data is accurate, up to date, so that we can provide you the right amount of the required data for your production, so that the productivity never stops. Now, I really wanted to quickly jump on today's scenario. It's difficult what's happening, right? As I have said it before as well. This is like 1 in a million chance, right? A situation that happened, and there's no control over it. We really couldn't do anything, right? No one predicted it, and no one was prepared for it. But how does that affect us? I mean, earlier we used to read it in the newspapers. We were looking at the news. We were actually looking at those applications, Arogya Setu. We always wanted to be up to date on that, right? But now, if I actually go a little more further, we've started analyzing people close to us who have started getting impacted, right? So it's not indirect anymore. It has started becoming direct, right? And the policies has been changing on a daily basis, and the policies is not just at your level. It's actually changing at a government level, at a state level. The lockdowns are getting imposed again. Some of the states they went for the unlocking, and then they saw the impact growing, and then they're doing the unlocking. It's like a confusing situation as of now, right? Which is impossible for any organization to manage internally. So what do we do? How do we move forward? How do we make sure that the business keeps on running? Now, those are the things that I really want to answer. Everyone needs the answer to that. But if I just talk about the business situation as of now, I won't be wrong in saying that one COVID positive case can shut down the entire business. No one wants that. No one does that deliberately. But this is something that is beyond our control, right? I mean, so how do we make sure that we take those precautions, those measures, so that we can save our business, and not only that, we actually save our employees as well. We safeguard our employees because that's where the business comes from, right? um, the businesses has been shutting out. um, if we take a look at that, all I really want to show over here is that it's not that the businesses are not at risk. They are at risk because sometimes you really require a person to come to the office, even if everyone is working from home, right? That's the best scenario that you could actually do for your employees, and that's not wrong. But there are times, there are employees, delivery guys, or I mean, you talk about delivery guys, you talk about the IT, the uh, specifically for the telecom, right? If they have to go out, they have to go out. They really can't avoid. But even then, if those dangerous situations can actually lead to closures of business or the buildings, and it has happened before, and that's exactly what I want to show over here. It's not that I don't want to create that kind of a scenario that it's scary, but let's just face it, it's the reality, right? With that, I actually want to ask a question. The question is, how do we make sure it has actually started happening already, right? The businesses have been closing out cause of increase in the COVID cases, and honestly, it's no one's fault. But this is something that you really can't avoid, right? So how do we make sure that the offices are secure? How do we make sure that the employees are safe? And the best question is, how do we make sure that our businesses keeps on running? So my take is that we actually need some sort of data, some real-time analysis to actually predict the situation, to and so we can actually take the actions accordingly. And for that, I actually want to talk about myCOVIDrisk. Now, myCOVIDrisk is actually an API which is actually created by Lepton, and it's powered by Google Maps platform. It's it's something that can really help you in analyzing the situation, not only on the internal side but on the external sides as well. Let me give you a quick example right now. This is how the office place looks like for you. At the workplace, we're taking all sort of measures. We're maintaining distances, we're using masks, we're using the temperature check machines are there, the hand sanitizers. We've actually spend a lot on that, because we want our offices to be safe and our people to be safe, right? We want the business to keep on running. But what happens outside the office? You're taking all sort of measures, but can you really, I mean, if a delivery guy moves out and he goes out, he has to go to a certain location. He really would not be, I mean, you guys would not be able to predict till the time the guys actually reach over there and they see there's a police barricade, or that area is shut down, or that area is actually into the containment zone, right? So the outside office place, using the myCOVIDrisk API, you would be able to analyze as to what areas are affected, and you can actually avoid those areas or take that route if that's safe for you and your employees. Let me show you what I mean. So I want to run a quick video on showing of myCOVIDrisk. Here it is.
A single employee or associate with high COVID risk can risk closing down your business. Introducing myCOVIDrisk, a software solution to ensure your business continuity with zero COVID risk. An API that tracks quarantine and containment zones in real time. A must-have and easy-to-integrate solution for manufacturing, retail, BPOs, delivery and logistics, transportation, and many more. Now you can identify employees living in or coming to work from quarantined areas. Proactively advise them to stay home. Accept or refuse orders or requests from customers in quarantine zones. Correct any routing or delivery schedules that pass through quarantine zones. You can use our software or use API to extend the functionality within your existing software. All in real time. Make your workplace safe and get your business on track like never before. myCOVIDrisk. Simple, quick, accurate. powered by Google Maps platform.
See what I mean? Simple, it's quick, and it's accurate. But again, seeing is believing, right? Let's just deep dive into it a little bit. So I want to talk about the use cases or what kind of impact myCOVIDrisk API implementation into the business can actually bring on the table for you. Employee availability and route planning. You talk about any industry as of now. We talk about manufacturing, BFSI, automobile, telecom, or even logistics, right? The cab services, transportation, right? The thing is that if you need to have an employee, so specifically in the unlock time, the unlock is actually going to happen, and you would need some of the employees to come to the office. Even at the low occupancy, you still want the office place to be safe, right? Now, based on this API to be implemented with your application or with our application, whatever suits you, right? Based on their home addresses, you can actually check the availability of the employees. If the area is a safe zone or a containment zone, right? If it's a quarantine, well, you will obviously not ask your employees to come to the office, and then you can also check the pickup points or the drop points, right? Just to make sure that they're not in the containment zone. All this information on a real-time basis, and you can track it out, and you can take that route or avoid it based on what it shows to you. The risk assessment, right? We're talking about delivery guys. We're talking about the repair, the maintenance. Well, something breaks out at your at someone's place, right? And you happens to be the maintenance. You got to do what you got to do, right? So how can we actually avoid those areas? That is one other scenario where we can actually avoid. And the food delivery guys, it's actually still going up. People still would like to order. Since they can't go out, they would still order food, right? The other products, essentials, medical services, really important and critical at the same time. You need those services at your doorsteps, right? So you can actually plan and allocate the resources according to the area where it's allowed, where it's not allowed. Take your time in doing those analysis so that you can keep your business and your employees safe. The stores, market, facilities, right? Again, when we talk about all sort of industries, again, if you take a look at the left hand side, we've already depicted the industries that we're talking about. So you can actually do that planning based on the shops which are open, which are not open, right? We can actually, when to open and when not to open. You can plan on your supply, your distribution accordingly. Align your field sales, field teams according to the areas in the containment zone or not in the containment zone, right? Avoid those areas. And then the e-commerce delivery services, as I've already mentioned before, right? You can identify the hotspots and the map areas on the delivery routes, to make sure that the delivery is away from the high risk areas. And then you can obviously plan your logistics in a much more effective manner. Customer service maintenance, as I've already mentioned that as well. Again, there are some things that can't be avoided, right? And I really want to reiterate it because we've all, let's just face it, we've all faced that scenario. I think about a week back, there was a blockage in the drainage pipe, and I had to call someone, right? That is something that I can't, I don't, I'm not the best person to handle it, right? So I have to call someone. Now, just to make sure that the other person is also comfortable, myCOVIDrisk API can actually make sure and tell the company using the application that, okay, it's okay to send your staff to that location, or not okay to send your staff at that location. You can actually deny that. I know that's going to be a slight impact on your business, but then in the long run, that can actually be of a great service to you, since you actually had your employee avoid that situation at that moment, right? That's the idea behind it. So what does myCOVID software API do actually? So left hand side, you take a look at it. It's a normal map. How it shows. It gives you seems like a Delhi map, I think. But again, it just shows you the map. You know, just routes and roads over there. However, if you input that map, obviously when I said it's powered by Google Maps, I really mean it, right? I'm not. And if you input that with myCOVIDrisk APIs and if you integrated it, the output looks pretty amazing. It actually shows you all sort of areas which you can actually avoid. It can show you the containment zone. It can show you the routes. It can divert you in case if someone is, so for example, in a delivery guy, if they're actually taking a route and if a containment zone comes in that particular location, they can actually reroute that area and then go accordingly. Just to give you a one sort of example. So the real question is, how do we get that data? So the data, presently more than 500 towns or cities are under containment zone. How do we know that? Because we do have a team of more than 50 people for data collection and processing. We're doing this on day in, day out basis. We also have a central control command, a team who's working 24/7 to update this data continuously, just to make sure that we provide you the data, the accurate data. And the data is for over 700 districts, 4,000, more than 4,000 containment zones are available with us. Obviously, they keep on changing basis on the number of cases going up or down. But then again, what I mean to say over here is that we have the accurate data, and the data is actually being worked upon by the team day in, day out. I mean, there's a 24/7. We keep on updating it just to make sure that our customers are satisfied with that and are safe as well. Quick look on myCOVIDrisk APIs. It actually can, it actually gives you the risk status for the point or addresses. It gives you the status of the route being, based on the origin, destination, and the path. I've already discussed that before. And then the file upload supports bulk point and routes. It actually supports all those things, and the tile API map to get different risk zones across India. The technology behind myCOVIDrisk API is big data processing framework, for geospatial data sets, and then we have the cloud native APIs and web application, which is highly reliable and performance based. So the productivity does not get hampered because of this. Since it's actually powered by Google Maps API, the compute is seamless and is faster than it's fast and it's with minimum latency. With that, I hand it over to Mansoor one more time for the demo.
Thank you, Varun, for the wonderful presentation. Now I would request Swapna to take forward and show our audience the demo of the solution. Swapna, can you please take it forward from here? Swapna, are you able to hear me?
Hi, thanks, Manswab. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm able to hear you, Manswab. And thanks for giving a very insightful presentation, Varun. We will now start with the demo, as Varun mentioned. Before we move on to the demo, I would like to first talk about three things that will be covered in the myCOVIDrisk API. It will be risk, activity, and movement. You will understand these are the three different data palettes that will be shown on the Smart Market myCOVIDrisk API, which will give you all this information, right? And it will contain the details about the containment zone, the nearest containment zone, if that particular place is not near or in a part of a containment zone. What is the activity level, and what are the movements that are allowed in that particular area? All those things will be covered, right? So moving on to the demo part, this is the software application that has been developed by Lepton completely indigenously, and it is a geospatial analysis and location intelligence software developed to give a location vertical analysis for all the data sets that is available for various organizations, right? And for now, since this webinar is only about myCOVIDrisk API, I would not speak much about what Smart Market does, but Smart Market does a lot more than just show you the myCOVIDrisk API or the COVID risk analysis. There are various variables of data that has been encompassed from the telecom data that we receive from Vodafone Idea and census data, which when added to different layers and amalgamated with a lot of other analysis like the catchment analysis or union of layers, intersect analysis, etc., you are then able to do a lot of analysis at your end. You can upload your data as well. There is a facility that where you can upload your data, put it together with the data available in Smart Market, and do a lot more of analysis in this. But as I mentioned, this is for the COVID risk layer that the demo will be shown. So this is a very simple procedure. I just select the my COVID risk layer over here. I apply it, right? So this is how it shows up. Okay, and for now, this is the current status of all the districts in India. For example, if I click on this district over here, it will open a palette on the right, which will show you the risk analysis, right? Like I had mentioned, it will show you the location name, the classification, risk zone number is 7. Then you have your nearest containment zone, which is about 10 kilometers away from Dosa. And the name of that particular containment zone, right? Has there been any case detected, total recoveries, right? All of that information is showed up. All of this is government approved and government validated. Absolutely truthful, and veracity of the data is information shown. As I mentioned, you have your emergency services, essential services, your electrical shops, educational institutes. All of these things are functional and open, right? Movements of various kinds of vehicles, various kinds of goods transport, trains, metros, and what all is allowed in that particular district is also shown. So this is the basic COVID risk analysis and the COVID risk layer that is provided with Smart Market. But what it can do to your particular organization or your particular use cases, you can add your own data to this, right? You can add your own employee data, you can add your any other data to this and match it with the COVID risk analysis that is present, and check whether that particular points, whether those lat longs fall under particular risk zones, whether your employees are traveling from red zone, blue zone, containment zone. All of such analysis can be done. If you would ever like to have a demo for such a kind of use case, you can always contact us one-on-one and we can have that demo arranged for you, right? So moving on to the presentation again, like I had mentioned, there is risk, activity, and movement. The force behind myCOVIDrisk API is that Lepton has been into location intelligence for the last 20 years, and 80% of mobile networks in India is planned on Lepton map. We have global mapping experience. We have a world-class software product team. The data that has been used to show on the myCOVIDrisk API is verified through various government websites, verified through social media accounts, helplines. Every 4 hours, there are updates. There is a 200+ member team involved in providing these updates 24/7. There are multilingual data sources that are used to add to this database that comprises of myCOVIDrisk API. Coming to the summary of what myCOVIDrisk API can do, this was just an add-on on what Varun had mentioned all over the webinar. Root analysis, you can help and find out if an employee of yours is coming from a risk zone. You can find out if you have to deliver to a particular location, whether it falls under an risk zone or not. You have a Google Map view. You can find and embed your movement data. You can do your address analysis. You can find out the risk for a particular zone, all of that through myCOVIDrisk API, right? With this, we come to an end of our presentation today. We will now be taking up the questions, right?
Thank you, Swapna, for the wonderful demo. Now I would request Varun and Swapna both if you can just answer some of the queries that have come up in the Q&A window for of our clients, and if you can answer them.
Hi, Vimal. Your question is about, will it update lockdown info also? If you are talking about lockdown in particular states and districts, yes, it does. It does update the lockdown info as well. But that is in keeping in mind whether certain zones and certain places is zone and district specific, right? Which is also being shown as I'd shown in the demo as well. Uh, Government-backed websites is the source of information, right? What is the reliability? I had mentioned they're all absolutely reliable. They're highly reliable since they're all government-backed websites, government sources.
Just to add on this,
Yeah.
Swapna. So, Vimal, just to answer your question, government website is one part of the story. Then definitely we do have our own team who keeps on working on it. So we have our the field team as well who keeps on updating all sort of information, validating, and then updating it. So yeah, I believe that should answer your question. Thanks, Swapna.
All right. Hi, Rishabh. Yes, this is only for India. We are only providing the myCOVIDrisk analysis for India. Hi, Tisha. I think partly your question has been answered. Source of COVID risk data, as I'd mentioned, and also how Varun has added. How frequently are containment zones updated? They are updated every 4 hours. This is a real-time data-driven solution already. Hi, Parveen. Thank you for your question. The source of the live data is, as I and Varun had mentioned earlier, we have a team working on it, and they get it from the government sources. And as I mentioned, the analysis depends on what analysis is expected for your use case. Smart Market itself provides a lot of other analysis. What you can do from your end, if you only want to do a myCOVIDrisk API analysis, is you can add your own information. If you have certain employee data or any other kind of data, you can add that to the Smart Market application, embed it with the myCOVIDrisk layer, and then find out whether certain points are falling under various risk zones or not. So that is the kind of analysis you can do. But apart from that, there are various other analysis that Smart Market can provide. And if you are interested, we can always arrange a demo session for you for Smart Market as well. Can you show the same for Mumbai for more data points? Yes, of course, Partha. Hi. We will, if required, we will arrange a demo session just for Mumbai as well. It is available for all the districts in India. Hi, Raveen. What is the data accuracy percentage? Varun, would you like to answer this question?
So, as we've already mentioned that the data has been collected, from various sources. It's not just one or two. It's been collected. Not only just collected from the sources, it's collected. It's been validated. We have our own team. So the data accuracy, we're pretty confident that it's actually accurate. So the first thing that we did was test it out on us, right? So yeah, I can like if I really have to give the percentage, it's as good as government data. That's what I would say.
Okay. Thanks, Varun. Hi, Vimal. Your question is, will it maintain historical data as well? Could you please elaborate on what you mean by historical data? Historical data of particular districts, of what it was before, or how it evolved over the months for COVID risk? Is that what you're expecting? Because the updation itself is a practice where it should show you the latest data only, right? Um, I don't think so that'll be possible. You can just type in your message, Vimal. About lockdowns, historical data about lockdowns.
Vimal, I have given you the permission for speaking, so you can go ahead with your question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Vimal,
Yes,
we
we
can
are
hear
able
you.
to.
Okay, so my question is a bit different. So it is like this: you are collecting a lot of information about lockdowns and the COVID situation. It is more pertaining to lockdown. See, what happens is I come from a procurement background, and now what is happening is because of all the lockdowns since March, lot of vendors claims also come in. So lockdown situations are changing in countries. Sometimes entire country was in lockdown, and after that there are some regional level or geographical level lockdowns as well. So is it that you maintain historical information which I can fetch in case there is a claim? Because otherwise I don't have any historical information lying in any other system, basis which I can find out whether that claim is correct or not. In case he declares that his particular location across anywhere in India, let us say it's Kolhapur, it was under lockdown between this period and this period because of some local administrations regulations or state regulations or whatsoever it is. Then two things: one is I have that information, and second thing is the source of that information also lying, basis which I can verify his claim. Is it possible?
Hi, Vimal. That's a great question. I don't think we have the facility to keep the historical data available for certain districts, because the whole point of providing you myCOVIDrisk API is the current situation in India. Like, what is it right now, and the latest information for all the districts. So whether the activity level or the risk level, what is it, those are the things that you can provide. But the kind of analysis that you are expecting can be done with the help of smart market. We can uh, we can have a one-to-one session on this, and we can think of how it can be done with smart market and myCOVIDrisk API together, because smart market is having a lot of facilities that can help you over here. Um Hi, Tisha. Your question is, what is the granularity of the risk data? I think I had shown you. It shows you the containment zone, the exact containment zone in that, for that particular district, and it will show up. If it is a particular district, it will show up the closest containment zone that has been defined by the district administration of that state. So I think that is the best level of data that you can get for COVID risk, right? So I
Any
think
more
with this,
questions that are coming up, or we can move ahead and close the session? Also, I am just sending a link for a small feedback form. It will be really nice if you can fill up this feedback form, and so that we can improve our sessions going forward, webinar sessions going forward. Also, if you have any request for a demo one-to-one session, or you have any further queries, you can write to us at marketing@leptonsoftware.com. I'm also typing this email ID in the chat window. Rekha, you have asked for the commercials. We can definitely discuss this on one-to-one basis. So you can write to us on this mail ID, or I'll arrange a call for you on this. And we will also be sharing the recording of this session with all of you. So there are no more questions that are coming up. So I would like to thank Swapna for answering all the questions of our guest, and also Varun for the wonderful presentation. And of course, I have to thank the audience for coming in today and attending this session. And we look forward to your attendance for our next webinar, and we will communicate the same on the email with you. Okay, we have one last question. Swapna, can you please answer this from Rekha?
All right, I'm just having a look at the question. Well, smart market, if you would like to use the smart market along with myCOVIDrisk API, then you'll have to have smart market with you. Otherwise, myCOVIDrisk API is also available on public domain. There is a web application. You can have a look at that link as well. We'll share it with you after the webinar. But if you would like to access that along with your data and embed it, then you will have to have the commercials and everything in place. So that will require a one-to-one session with us, and we'll arrange that for you. All right, bye.
Thank you, Swapna, for answering that question. And thank you again, once again, for the audience for attending this session. So have a great day ahead. Thank you. Goodbye and stay safe. Thank you.